Several of the clients that we've been working with from our YouTube channel have told me on our initial call that they are considering Charleston, South Carolina and Greenville, South Carolina. Well, these are two totally different places. So we thought it would be helpful to make a video going over the similarities and the differences between Charleston and Greenville. So we'll talk about amenities in each location, home prices in each location, weather and climate, population, and more. Let's do it. As always, my name is Will Sawyer, your friend in real estate here in the Upstate of South Carolina. And it's our goal with this channel that we are your #1 resource for all the things that you need to know about moving to Greenville, South Carolina. And if you enjoy this content, please like our video, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a comment in the comments. We would love to meet you there in the comments. So let's get into it. So take it from me, someone who considered going to college in Charleston and has spent a lot of time during the summer over the last 20 years vacationing in Charleston. Charleston has a lot of great things about it. It's rich in Southern history. There's a lot of things to do there. There's a lot of great restaurants there. There's miles and miles of beaches there. But does it take the edge over Greenville? Let's see. So first up, let's talk about the different population sizes in each place. So in Charleston, there's about 150,000 people in that city, compared to Greenville that only has about 70,000 people in our city. Now, if you expand a little bit and go into the county, there's only about 420,000 people in Charleston County, whereas with Greenville County, there's a little bit over 500,000 people. And that makes sense, right? You gotta think, there's only 3 places to go in Charleston, and that's north, that's east, and that's west. You can't go south because you're gonna run into the ocean. So in my experience, Charleston traffic can be quite horrendous compared to Greenville. Because you can only go 3 directions versus 4 directions, that does cause a little bit more congestion. Based on what I've experienced when driving through Charleston, you have a few major highways and there's tons of stoplights on each of those major highways versus Greenville, where it's a little bit more free-flowing and it's a little bit easier of a commute from home to work every day compared to Charleston and Greenville. So what's the difference in cost of living in Charleston and Greenville? So again, like the video that we did about the cost of living in Greenville, we're gonna use bestplaces.net. And in comparing the two cities, Greenville has a score of 91. So if the United States has a mean or an average of 100, Greenville's about 9% less expensive to live there compared to the rest of the country. In comparison to Charleston, which is 112 compared to the US mean of 100. So compared to most parts of the country, Charleston's 12% more expensive to live. In practically every category on the website, Greenville was less expensive than Charleston. Categories like transportation, like gas, like groceries. And I think a large factor in that big discrepancy between 112 for Charleston and 91 for Greenville are real estate prices. So at the time of this recording, the average home price in the Greenville area is about $375,000. Compare that to Charleston, which is $575,000. So it's much more expensive to buy a home in the Charleston area than it is compared to the Greenville area. Also keep in mind that many residents in the Charleston area are required to pay flood insurance. You are along the coastline. Charleston is not that far above sea level compared to Greenville, which is about 1,000 feet above sea level. So a lot of these residents do have to pay flood insurance. And on top of their probably more expensive home insurance, they also have a flood insurance policy, which is probably double the amount of their home insurance policy. So that's a big factor to consider as well. And I even have a client right now that lives in downtown Charleston that is trying to flee downtown Charleston because in something as simple as a heavy rain, his property will flood and that's just not something that he was expecting. And that leads us to our next point, the climate and the weather. So Charleston and Greenville are relatively similar in temperatures. Charleston will average about 90 degrees in the summer and the low 70s in the summer evenings, whereas Greenville will average about 88, 87 degrees in the summertime and the high 60s in the evenings in the summers. Winter times are very similar as well. But the distinct difference, in my opinion, is the type of heat that you get in the summertime. So here in Greenville, like I said, we're 1,000 feet above sea level. It is humid here. There always tends to be a breeze, but compared to Charleston, you have that beach, tropical, really salty, sticky, humid heat, which is overwhelming at some points. And when you compare Charleston to Greenville heat-wise, you're gonna find that Charleston is much hotter than Greenville is during July and August, which are our peak heat months. And that doesn't even include extreme weather. So since Charleston is on the coast of South Carolina, that area is susceptible to extreme weather like hurricane and tropical storms. Since the year 2000, Charleston has experienced 8 hurricanes, and that does not include weather systems that weren't quite strong enough to be considered hurricanes, like tropical storms and so on. And how many has Greenville experienced in that time? So what about things to do and what amenities does each location have? So the Charleston food scene definitely gives Greenville a run for its money. You know, places that come to mind would be Page's Okra Grill on Mount Pleasant, Husk Barbecue, Hank's Seafood, Hyman's Seafood, the list goes on and on and on. There's a ton of great restaurants to check out in Charleston on a regular basis. You know, you can enjoy a lot of great food in Charleston while you sit in a hurricane. And there's also a lot of beaches in Charleston that you can enjoy. Sullivan's Island would be the closest beach from downtown Charleston. You have Folly Beach, which is known for a lot of great waves, so a lot of surfers go out to Folly Beach. You have some scenic beaches like the Wild Dunes out on the Isle of Palms, as well as Kiowa Island, which is world renowned. And there's a ton of rich history in Charleston as well. There's horse carriage tours, there's nightly ghost tours in downtown Charleston. You can go to the Battery, which is a defense wall used in the Civil War to protect Charleston from Union troops and forces. And also the Civil War started in Charleston at Fort Sumter. There's also what was at one time the largest slave trade post there in Charleston that still stands today that you can walk around. There's a market there and there's tours of that area as well. So lots of things to do in Charleston, a lot of amenities in Charleston as well. And in addition to downtown, on the islands that surround Charleston, there's a ton of master plan communities that have golf courses, tennis and pickleball options, as well as plenty of walking paths and trails for residents to enjoy also. And I know so far in the video, it seems like I'm certainly biased to Greenville, but there's not all bad things about Charleston. Charleston has some great amenities. So it's no surprise to me that Greenville and Charleston are among the most popular destinations to visit and to move to here in South Carolina. You know, some great things about Charleston that I haven't previously mentioned would be being able to enjoy a round of golf in the morning and then being able to go to the beach in the afternoon, or enjoying one of the many restaurants that Charleston has to offer, or going to Shem Creek on the weekends and enjoying a nice drink with some friends. But Greenville's home. I love being in the foothills of the mountains. I love our downtown. I love our restaurants that we have here. And if it were me, I would choose Greenville 100 times to Charleston. So if you are considering moving to Charleston or to Greenville, please reach out to me. I would love to chat with you about especially Greenville, and I can certainly point you in the right direction if you are leaning to Charleston. I know several great agents down there that can help you and your family relocate to that part of the state. And again, if you are thinking about relocating to our area of the upstate of South Carolina, please reach me at my number below or my email below. I would love to chat with you about our great city here in the upstate of South Carolina. Thanks so much. Well, this video is going to be about Greenville County, the upstate of South Carolina. Great thing to do and easily in the evening. I'm a local real estate expert here in the area. All time, we're right behind me is a really cool place called Freight Yard.